I was 18, just after my first child was born. The Commonwealth Games were held in Jamaica. World records were broken. Now 48 years later, my grandson is here, 18 years old. He's entering the third stage of education. Jamaicans of Josh's age group are doing great things at the Commonwealth Games. But it's time to eject the ruling family of Britain and outlaw any ruling class in Jamaica. So over to you now, Josh.
I'm just looking forward to entering a new stage in my life, and hopefully I can spend some more time at the show where I can get advice from some other people who have been through the same things that I'm about to go through now.
Well, thanks. I'm so glad you'll be here at the University of West Indies. Straight up, News Talk 93 FM. I'm Jerry Smal.
News Talk 93 FM. Real news. Real talk. Heard everywhere.
Yes. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up for today. And for this month here too, because today is the beginning of October. People usually marvel. The longer they live, the more they marvel how time seems to pass fast. Time not moving any faster or any slow. But that's what it seems. 3 months left in the year here, 1st of October. Well, I heard that on Friday, one of the venerable leaders in the Rastafari movement, his life came to an end. You know, he was almost about 92 or 93 years old. That is Fillmore Alvaranga. I have not been able to check with his family because 1 or 2 times we have got information which later turned out to be a little bit previous to the facts, you know. But coming from Ras Hoshing, I believe the information should be accurate that Brother Fillmore Alvaranga of both the mystic revelation of Rastafari, that band and outfit there, musical and cultural outfit, and also of the Rastafari Brethren Repatriation Association that was based out in East Kingston from in the late 50s. Yeah, I heard that he passed away. I haven't been able to contact any member of his family, but Ras Hoshing promised to put me in touch with some members of his family so that we could get more information and also verification. But recently we saw him. Last time I saw him was at the screening of the documentary on reparation, especially focusing on the interaction of Rastafari with the Queen of England, even to the point of bringing a lawsuit against the Queen and the so-called royal family of England. That documentary that was screened there a few weeks ago at the university. Brother Fillmore Alvaranga was there and he spoke. His eyesight had gone for some time, but he spoke, as usual, clearly and with a good grasp of this situation and memories from 60 years ago and more, come right up to now. Talking about the passing away, I understand that something that I have spoken about briefly, about 3 or 4 times recently. Because what brought it back to mind was because recently a young tiler, somebody who lays tiles, you know, a kind of form of mason work, somebody who lay tiles on floors. A young tiler was caught for the 2nd time in the premises of a doctor's office on Ripon Road, and it reminded me of Hugh Crosskill. Remind me of Hugh Crosskill visiting a doctor's office on Ripon Road because he knew the doctor and he knew that the doctor would help him. And he used to visit there more than one time, and he was he was killed there, apparently by a security guard who was on duty, and who it is said knew of this regular visitor and knew that he wasn't really a burglar or a violent threat. Well, somebody called me and is letting me know. Other people, after they heard me compare the Tyler who used to sleep at that place, and it could be the same place, compared to the what happened to Hugh Kraskill. A couple callers called and spoke about it. One person texting a text message and said that the security guard wasn't killed out a road. He was killed in a cell in jail by other people, and heard various things. Well, somebody else called me and said that none of these things is true, and that the security guard who happened to be involved in the death of Hugh Kraskill not only did not kill him, but that security guard died of a broken heart. And the lady is telling me that the death was accidental, and after everybody was against the security guard so much because of sympathy with Hugh Kraskill as a well-known personality, and everybody being against him, the security guard who is a so-called nobody, he was so downhearted that he kept getting various illnesses until finally he died, and the illnesses were not thought to be enough to end his life, and therefore people say him died from a broken heart. Well, when I was trying to find out more from her, thinking that she probably got these things from members of the family or people who knew him or doctors, because at first she said that must be careful about the information that we pass, because some of the information is not true, and it causes a great deal of pain on families and survivors of people like this who a bad impression is being not only left, but is being made worse the more we talk about it and the longer time we talk about it. But when I was questioning her, she didn't seem to get this correction of information from anybody who either was a member of the family or from any doctor or nurse or anybody who treated this man in his illness. So, although I am not convinced that she got the information from any reliable source, I still acknowledge that let us check it out and find out if anybody else knows anything more factual about how the security guard died shortly after the killing of Hugh Kraskill. By the way, thinking about the yesterday, the progress in decriminalizing ganja. One step in the progress being the fact that people found or convicted for I think small quantities of ganja, or is it all ganja convictions? People with such convictions will no longer bear the record of conviction and therefore criminalization and therefore inconvenience in later life while seeking clearance for various things, whether clearance for travel documents or clearance for travel documents including passport, visa, clearance for job application, clearance for all kind of different things. So that is one step, yes. As you know, the quantity of ganja for which people will be held and people will be criminalized is a certain amount, I believe 2 ounces or less. So from now on, as people had been raising the questions earlier, relevant question, from now on, police who intend to screen people for ganja possession when searching them either in them home, on the road, or at any place, will have to have some form of scale or weighing equipment that them can measure measure the amount of ganja or the amount of vegetable matter that them suspect to be ganja. Because that is all it is, a suspicion of ganja. Vegetable matter suspected to be ganja, because they don't have no capability to test this herb neither. So police from them time till now can only hold people with vegetable matter that they think to be ganja until it gets tested by those who are capable of testing it. And just like how they are not capable of testing it scientifically and proving that it's ganja on the spot, so it is that they are not capable of classifying it as being below or above 2 ounces unless they have the equipment on the spot, such as a scale. So, from now on, such police, any squad of police or any and every police party or individual from now on, going to need, if them have such an intention, a scale. So a scale now going to come like a breathalyzer test, or what is the other thing? You have another thing, breathalyzer test or a speed gun, yes. So the ganja scale that police must travel with now must go and come like a speed gun. You have to have your speed gun, because police also charge you with speeding without proving that you're really speeding. And many of the judges used to go along with them gladly and convict people for speeding when people not really speeding, because the police say you're speeding or the police say you're driving recklessly. So after a while, them bring in the radar gun, which is supposed to be able to measure the speed at which a car is moving, or any object. The speed at which an object is moving, especially a motor vehicle. So as I said now, speed gun. The speed gun going to come in like a breathalyzer test. It comes like a breathalyzer test already. Equipment that police need if they are going to reasonably assess their discretion to charge you. So therefore now, as I said, the scale, the breathalyzer test, and the speed gun going to be part of police equipment. You know that most time police on the road don't have no breathalyzer equipment. So most time they might either take it to a station that has that equipment, or them send go for some breathalyzer team. And you see the dummy police, the cardboard cutout picture of a police of life, roughly life size, about 6 foot high, on the side of the road. When they're driving up there, the first time I saw it was in Smal, and it was very effective. Because when I saw it first, I was convinced immediately that it's a policeman pointing a speed gun at me, and I slowed down. And I see plenty of other places, including Castleton near the police station, many other places. It is very effective. It is very effective, even after you have come in contact with it and know that the next time you see it, you have a rough idea that it's not really a police, but it's a cardboard cutout. So a little more you need some cutout than now with a policeman or a policewoman with a scale on the side of the road, that you can know when you're approaching that the police or that police station. Now you try bail out, couple bail of ganja and just left yourself with 2 ounces and less. I shoot you if you travel with a scale too. Well, I'm not joke I'm making now. But sometimes you can look on the lighter side of things, and a sense of humor help you to go through life. And you use that same sense of humor to alert your other senses. The sense of humor alert the other senses, the sense of reality. And people always talk about the sixth sense, because you know that the senses, the physical senses of living things, I suppose it's all living things, or well, especially of human beings, the 5 senses. You can remember them easily, because all 5 of the sense organs exist on your head. Coming from your eye, the sense of sight, and your ears, the sense of hearing, and your nose, the sense of smelling, and your mouth, the sense of taste. And your skin is what serves a sense of touch. Your skin, the whole skin. So skin is on your face, so the sense of touch is served from your head come down. And people talk about a 6th sense, and knowing. a kind of understanding and knowing things that is not easily explained. Them call it a sixth sense, and people always wondering what is that sixth sense. Well, whether there is such a sixth sense or not, I know that balance, a sense of balance, is also one of the physical senses. And a sense of balance can apply to physical balance, or it can apply to other forms of balance. Because balancing what is known against what is not known, what has happened against what has not happened, balancing various things against one another, help guide people, just like how the sense of balance guide you and allows you to move around and not to topple over very easily once you have that sense of balance and you pay attention to it. So yes, it is true that a cardboard cutout of a police officer in uniform with a scale can serve like how the cardboard cutout of a police in uniform depicting a police with a radar gun pointing out that you can help slow down people. And then people, just like how you slow down, it is meant to slow you down. That cardboard cutout can't give you no ticket. So it is meant to help you to remember to slow down. The other one will help to remember to bail out some of the extra amount of ganja you have because this, that, and that. Anyway, talking about ganja and talking about it, the Minister of Justice, Mr. Mark Golden, he had a what you call now, he had what you call it now? It's not really an accident. He had a little grammatical, it's not grammar neither. But he was talking about the herb and different thing. What did he say? He say a word, but I think them oh yes. Anyway, it's a little slip between the tongue and the lip. He talk about the ganja and the legalization and all them way there. And he was speaking about in case there's a malfunction of some different thing, but him kind of left out one of the letter. But him talk plain English, but you know, it was kind of amusing. Mark Golden is, we not try make no fun of him. And me and you make slip all the while, and it sound like something else. It's a lucky thing, it's a lucky thing you can't charge for them thing there. Anyway, you must be very careful after that, like anybody would be very careful. So, amusing though, the reactions of various people. And then now, Warmington himself, saw like a clip of Warmington disputing certain things in the parliament and even clashing with a public servant there, and the public servant fighting back with like manner as Warmington. Warmington have to call one of the other parliamentarians a nincompoop. I don't know who he must talking to. But you know, nincompoop, I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe it come from is a kind of popularization of a term. What them say? What that means you're not in your right mind. Nincompoop. What them say in Latin, non compos mentis. You're not in your right mind. I believe that's where nincompoop come from. I could be wrong still, but Warmington apply the diagnosis, like him diagnosed the other parliamentarian that kind of way. Kind of amusing still. And a few of the so-called ganja lobbyists are outside of the parliament, and some of the ganja businessmen and those who, some of them carefully classify themselves as businessmen to be, because I don't know, I feel like they're in the business yet. And then I remember Live at 7 last night had a very nice discussion about, well, that's a nice. I had an interesting discussion about dispute resolution, and I saw some video clips there of various people fighting in public instead of settling disputes in words and in words and negotiation, breaking out in fight in public. And most of these people are people who probably normally wouldn't fight, you know. But when you are embarrassed in public, it can lead to behavior to really save your face from looking so foolish, because you have been embarrassed. You continue till it reach to a physical clash, because the embarrassment put in a different mood. I'm talking about saving face. It's the first time I ever see that picture with a young man. A man look like about 920s in dispute with a dreadlock man. I don't know if it's a Rastafari, it seems so. And the young man and the TV video cameras there following up the whole light. Following up the whole light. It can be dangerous to try part two people when them fighting. Many people have tried to part fights, even children. Try to part fights in the wrong way. Sometimes by grabbing on one of the people fighting or grabbing on both of them. Can be very dangerous. A lot of people have died instead of the two people who fight and injure one another and kill one another. A lot of people who try to stop fights have died because of the wrong method or the wrong calculation they made when they try to physically part the fight. Sometimes the wrong calculations about strength. They might have believed that they were strong enough to hold one of the people and find that they wasn't strong enough, or find that the person himself turn on them, or find that the other person who was not being held now took advantage of the other one being held and made a stab or a lunge or a try to throw a blow, and sometimes the blow take down the person trying to make peace. It never looks so nice when you see the young man hold on upon the dreadlocks beard and hold on upon it tight and dry it. And the dreadlocks are holding upon part-time clothes. The dreadlocks have a knife in their hand, And the young man, the whole of the young man's side and him trunk and the whole of him side exposed. The dreadlock could have juke him in it long time, It's so terrible to see the physical conflict that people so easily get involved in. That's why there's so much murder in Jamaica. People physically get involved physically in conflict, carry the conflict to physical levels. And then usually if they try to carry the conflict to some resolution by some peace officer, frequently the peace officers, whether it's soldier, police, courthouse, or headmaster, or housemaster, or anybody, frequently the judgment and the decision that is handed out is so unfair and hurtful that people make up their mind that next time them not going to do that. Them going to take them going to make the law out of them own hands, or them going to physically try to put the other one out of the way. Life, their life presents various hazards. Not because of that is life is so, that life is like that, but because other forms of life will create a danger to you. Because ants will bite you while them living. Them purpose is not to bite you, but them will bite you. Same way another human being will do something that is harmful to you, and therefore life involved looking out for the dangers and avoiding the dangers. And that's why it look like life is so tough. Life is not that tough. And most of the difficulties that we find are man-made, human-made. Matter of fact, I heard that in the Observer today, there's an article about some world conference or some world agreement against the destruction of mangroves around the world, because it's one of the most hurtful things to the whole earth. But I haven't been able to look at the Observer. When I look at it, I can talk more about it, or you can tell me about it. Let's go for a break, straight up. Morning again, and welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smal. We are in the studios at the University of West Indies, Mona campus. Welcome, Straight Up.
Jerry.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Couple of things. You see the anonymous text them?
Yeah.
You think you should read them?
Yes, why not?
If somebody a text and can't even put a non-de-plume.
Then the non-de-plume now would help in what way?
At least them a put forward a name.
Yeah, for the listeners who don't know, nom de plume mean pen name. Then a lot of people from ancient time till now, when them writing something for the public or anybody else to see, them use a name that is not their well-known name, but is a name them use when them using the pen when them writing. Sometimes it is to disguise, or sometimes it is just to distinguish that they are talking in them writing capacity. Or yeah, so them put a name there, and that can help identify them with the next text that them send, or other text that you can know the general opinion or the groups, the groupings of opinion that that person have on various topics. But apart from you identifying that personality, a personality, a person not putting them name, what is the drawback about that?
Well,
Not
so we are listening to the program.
yeah.
Sometimes you have a series of disparaging text.
Yes, yes.
Where one get the feeling that, and if you can look up the paper, you dash show the paper them when you read them.
I wouldn't say yes and I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, because it would have good to do a study.
Yeah.
See what the number where some of these texts are.
The number? No, I wouldn't follow up the number them. You know? I wouldn't follow up the number them and try to find out who the person is or phone back the person and so on.
I mean, I say you could do that.
Yeah, but what would be interesting?
Information.
No, but what would be interesting about the number? What would be interesting about the number?
Just to pick up on a trend.
A trend, then our number going. You mean the phone number?
Yeah.
Then our phone number going make you pick up on a trend.
You know, go see say a series of disparaging texts that come from the same number all the time.
Yes, but we know that if somebody have disparaging thoughts over and over, that going to be a characteristic of that person, either towards you or generally in life. But apart from that, how that will help us? You know what I have found? Because like Haile Selassie, life has taught me, and life has taught all people, whether them know it or not. But like Haile Selassie, life has taught me. And one of the things that I have learned is that here I think I started practicing over the last few years. When somebody give me a wicked drive on the road, especially a drive that endanger me or endanger to damage the vehicle or that I'm driving, or to damage me or somebody else. When somebody get a wicked drive, you see, I try as much as possible when I pass them later, like them stop somewhere or them give me a wicked drive and go stop somewhere, and I passing them, or when I drop beside them at the traffic light, I try not to bother look upon them. Because once you look on them and you identify them, the next urge is to respond to them. Whether by question them, say, what kind of idiot thing you do look while? Or by saying something about them, or if they make a suggestion to you, who and who you should go get breastfeeding from, you might ask them, is that your recommendation? Once you look on them, the temptation is to follow up, and so I try break. I don't do it all the while, but it has helped me a lot to stop identify people who do me a wicked thing. Not generally now, most upon the road, because differently if people do a wicked thing, yes, it is suited to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, yes. But on the road, me kind of drive past, and if me drive upside of them at traffic light or them stop at the bus stop and pick up people, I try to avoid. Me nobody look on them because say that going to lead to other things, and then now you're going angry probably for the rest of the day. And it's not good for you, But I'm not a fool, though,
Yeah, you know that. The expungement thing look like a scam.
Look like a scam.
Yeah.
It is an election tool, and that's why you're not getting everything one time. This will win one election, then the next step will win the next election.
Yeah, when them talk about medical marijuana, they might talk about granny folk medicine. Cancer and asthma, them might talk about.
I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I can't read all of them, mind. But one thing I know, there's a lot of currency in it. Lot of political currency in the legalization of ganja.
It's a big man. It's a big man thing. For example,
Yeah, man.
if granny near her,
Yeah.
and she see some youth apart,
Yeah.
and say, "Beg no, is a herb there."
Yeah.
Them say, "What granny away you do?" She say, "No man, I want show some rum on it."
Yeah.
And them pop off a bud and give her.
Yeah.
And she call her grandpit and say, "Go down and Mr. Jones go buy 2 drink of rum and come back."
Yeah.
And a police come on now and see the herb from granny table. Them a go take it off.
No, you see, well, if you were to see the television clip when Bunting talking about it, it would reinforce certain things that you might have known before, like say, well then, if I want to say regardless, you will get through with a little dry herb. Him say the other bigger amount and the trafficking and the cultivation is still illegal, and him start laugh with pleasure. And I'm going to show you how much the police will still be vigorously pursuing.
Absolutely.
Because that sweet them and that amuse them. And, you know what I mean? And so, I play them up. I play a political game.
2 ounces or less. That can be ticketed.
Yeah.
That means that them not give you no chance, you know.
No.
The only good thing is that it not go come on your record.
Yeah.
Go see Granny have to turn up now. We go pay for ticket, big embarrassment, church member CR and all them things there.
Yeah.
That's scam.
Well, all right. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Jerry,
Yes, sir. Welcome.
do you believe that the journalist is really using investigative journalism in going into issue and give us a different perspective of what is happening out there?
Well, if a journalist is going into issues and giving a different perspective.
Yes, from what we see in the regular news.
Yes, that should help, yes. Right.
Are they doing that?
Some, yes, some.
Because why I ask this, when the issue of Indicom arresting these policemen in Clarendon, right? I believe a person that is really interested in investigative journalism should go in the community, investigate how these policemen operate in the community, how much extrajudicial killing do you understand they are involved in? Get it from the people. See, make a documentary of it. Make we out here know.
When they're doing it, you say?
Mm-hmm.
When they're doing it, that documentary should have the people calling the policeman them name or talking about the incident.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about the incident and say, you remember where Kentucky kid got into some scrape with some police and then he decided to make it well known, and then the Jamaicans for Justice, I think, advised him, say, he should make a video and record it and the various steps that happen. You can talk about an incident and people know which incident you're talking about.
Yes.
On the other hand, you can call out the individual officer's name who you know got into clash with him. But which one of these are you thinking of? Let's go for a break and come back. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Smal. Yes, Mr. Fox.
Yes.
The documentary that investigative journalist who hearing about a death squad, maybe in Clarendon, maybe somewhere, so I'm going there and start. That documentary, whether it meant for immediate publication or not, are you thinking of it being done from the perspective of finding out from a person like Kentucky Kid what happened? Or do you think, are you recommending for the investigative journalists to be finding out from people which policeman them think did what in death squad and so on? Which one? Calling the names or telling the circumstance around anything? Which one?
Yes.
Which one?
It involves both, Jerry, because, for instance, when a journalist go down there and them cover that incident, and you see it on the news, and one person come and say, what, the man just step on the road and he just shoot him. You need to go back to that clip get back to that family, get some information from that, investigate further.
Yes, but you are saying you sound like you are encouraging the journalists to get recordings from the people, calling the name of some of the officers, them who them think do this thing here. You think
I don't believe that would be allowed.
Well, that is what.
Not going to allow that.
All right. Well, you see, that's why I have to clarify those things, because some people believe that is the way to do it.
No,
and some people, that, Jerry. And some people, the journalists not going to allow it. And I think that if me and you sensible, we wouldn't want it to be done that way either.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
But we need some serious. I see Curlin Brown do something, and I tell you, boy.
Tell me quickly.
No, well, we can't recall now, but something like that we want. She go out there and she will do an investigation. I believe she will get a prize for it too.
Yes, yes. All right, well, we have Mark Whitner here, you know.
Yes.
And that is a person of experience in investigating.
Is he going to take call?
I believe so.
All right, maybe see what going there, no?
Yes, man.
All right, yeah.
Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up.
Sir Jerry, morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Jerry, these so-called leaders, you think they have any interest in the environment?
You'll have to name out some of them that I can have an idea what you're talking about.
Oh, no, we want to generalize now because the situation is stink all around. You know what I'm looking at?
Hold on, then how I must know is who you're talking about?
No, man, no, I'm talking about the environment, not necessarily a particular person.
But who are the so-called leaders in the environment?
Political leaders.
They are the leaders in the environment, towards the environment, yeah?
I mean, they control the sending out for money.
Okay.
They will determine.
Then how you choose to call it? Why you choose to call them leaders? Why?
That's why I say so-called, you know.
But
that's why I say so-called leaders.
Yeah, you see, when you're so vague, I can't know who you're talking about at all.
Yeah, because they really
I can't picture none of them as a leader. Who you picture? Who you picture when you're talking about? Who you picture?
We're talking about, for example, like the Minister of Environmental Control and Water.
Who that again?
Because your friend.
My friend?
Yeah, man. Jungle Justice.
How you come to call him my friend? I'm not trying to insult him, you know, but how you, alright, suppose him is even my friend. How you get to know that him is my friend? He could be my friend. Hold on. Him can be my friend, you know. But I want to know how you come to call him my friend.
In general terms. In general terms.
But you're calling people leader, you don't know if it's my leader. Are you calling people friend and you don't?
Because they call themselves leaders.
Yes, but I trying to, I'm trying to judge how seriously to take you, you know.
Okay.
So when I hear you say my friend, that time now I start way back everything what you say. If I didn't even not take it serious before, when I hear you say my friend now I start wonder if it's a crack call. When it's a crack call, if it's a nut case, or if it's a sensible person. No, I respect you, know.
Yeah, but
when you say that now, I start reassess you.
Great.
I'm gonna start wonder if you what you having.
Do you think it?
What you having?
What you have? It would sound better if I say your enemy.
No, but how you get to know someone is my enemy?
All right, great. Anyway, what I'm thinking in terms of if the environment as it is now, what will it be down the line when we have 3 power stations powered by coal?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes, it would
be something like in China.
Yes.
You know, you can't drive certain days because the place is so polluted.
Yes, but some people, as you know, would swap being in China with being in Jamaica any day.
As long as they have money.
But if you're in China, you're liable to have more money than if you're in Jamaica.
That's why.
You know, so some people deal with immediate satisfaction.
Yeah, because they worship at the altar of money.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I don't mind when they put me to the test, you know, because that's how the proof of something.
Yes, man. Then
I don't feel any way upset. That's why I, politely just answer you.
You are very right. You have a right to call yourself polite. Some people call themselves polite and I'm not polite, you know.
Yeah, because
you have
genuine.
Yes, well, you have a right to call yourself polite.
You know, but we have to think about the environment, Jerry.
Because we're hardly over the coal. Not true. What you say about the 3 power plant? We're not good about them?
No, I mean, the emission, I mean, what they really emit. We're talking about the one on Goat Island. Plus
what them going to emit?
The coal. You know, they use coal as their energy source, you know.
So you say we're really all over the coal then?
Definitely.
And you don't ball out?
Well, me one can ball and the rest will sit back because they are being promised wealth and influx of money.
Yeah.
So they just sit down and take it. But what will come is a degrading environment.
Yes.
And then we'll all suffer at the end. Not we, but our children.
Yes. True. Thank you very much.
Yes, pretty. Thank you.
True. Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, man. What going?
Yes, sir. We hear that you all has reached United States, right?
Yes.
That's one of our main entrance door,
Yes.
Unfortunate.
Yes.
But the doctor, the doctor sound positive, though. They have a doctor there.
Yes.
They're very positive.
And the more I hear them is the more I understand what's happening.
Yeah, man. Unlike many of our doctors. Not all,
Yeah.
Some of our doctors do have their intent to give up.
Tell me why you say the doctor them sound positive.
Yeah, man. There's only one doctor spoke over from America there in the hospital where they put that gentleman in isolation.
Yeah.
But most things come from America, so we have to look out to, We don't want to misunderstand like the chicken beating, because I see there's some misunderstanding between both the technical and the political directorate, right?
Yeah.
So you big up yourself until the next time.
Yes, well, one of the reasons why I understand more is that when I saw the documentary with Bill Gates 2 nights ago, and when I hear how the doctor them in America sound positive, and how them look forward over angle it, I get to understand more and more. Say, I study, but them go abroad, go study it,
Yeah, but
hold on. Like when you play cricket, I just see a ball come where you realize that it suits you to go down the wicket, go meet it.
Yes, sir.
Don't you go down the wicket?
Sometimes you can't go back, go forward.
I know, but sometimes don't it suit if you go down there and meet it?
I say sometimes, sir, so you don't have to go back at that. Anyway, the doctor, the first job duty of a doctor, I'm talking the medical one. Are you still there? It's the relief of suffering, right? So I hope most of our Jamaican doctors are listening. Big up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, so them go foreign, go study it, Them go which part of there? Why you think America send so much soldier and so much medical personnel and so much people go to Africa? Go there and study it. Study how it goes. Study it carefully. And study it. And boy, I say Bill Gates, boy, can't stop smiling and laugh. Because them have it studied. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Hi, morning, Mr. Smal.
Yes, sir. Wagwan.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yes, man. What happening to our Prime Minister?
I mean, what happened to her? She bathe and she get up and she bathe and she smell good and thing and she look nice.
And the chick feena reach her.
I don't know. She can't have it and you don't know.
That's true, because you don't hear nothing from the PNP. Look like the chick feena trouble none of the PNP people, them.
You believe that?
Well, I don't hear none of them saying. I don't hear no news come on to say any of them drop out sick or anything.
That
then just keep quiet about
it. So you never hear the Paul Burke of it?
Well, it was said at the conference, but then
it was announced at the conference?
Yes, they were surmising that he maybe had it at the conference when they were interviewing.
Then how you send up PNP? You know say PNP get it, you still at?
Well, they gone home and keep quiet. But we're having such a crisis in our country. And the Prime Minister don't say a word about it. Something has to be wrong with that. That's small.
I'm not saying anything about it.
No, sir. Trust me. 40 ministers she have. And nobody not listening to the minister again. So she should come out and come say something and rally the nation.
But maybe the whole of them together not make 40. Eh?
Why, I tell you, Mr. Smal, I don't know what is happening. And I noticed yesterday I was listening to a program and they're talking to one of them doctor man and the nurse. And they asked them what they think about the minister. And none of them have no comment of such about the minister.
Which minister?
Mr. Ferguson.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give a thing about how him think he's handling the situation.
And it's doctor and nurse they're talking to?
Yes.
I suppose them don't think it healthy if they make no comment about him.
But it appears because from day one and Mr. Seawright, I wasn't here when Mr. Seawright made the statement, but I think I hear them say him is a great alarmist and what have you. And the doctors them should come out and support him.
Then
probably out in a different way.
Yes, but I forgot now. But when Bruce go in a ninth wholeness and say him is the one who must take over from him. And the Minister of Health was who?
Mr. Roddy Spencer.
Did I make mistake? Because me calculate say it was Dr. Barr.
No man, Dr. Barr was Foreign Affairs.
Yes, that's true. And Dr. Barr did feel hurted. Remember say? Dr. Barr did feel hurted.
About what?
When Golden and ninth, him ninth down wholeness. You remember?
Let me tell you myself.
No, don't tell me. I just want to know if you remember that Dr. Barr.
No,
you don't remember say Dr. Barr did feel hurted.
I don't know of it.
Yes, you're not talking the truth at all.
I'm speaking the truth.
You are a labourite and you know.
I never heard that from Mr. Barr.
Yes, he did. He came out and said it's surprising to me because he's not a man who talk hard. And him come out and talk hard and say, what kind of foolishness this? Because even him did intend to try to take over leadership and them not give him a chance to him all and is not young.
He never want no hold
all of a sudden now, you remember. All of a sudden now you remember. All of a sudden
the party didn't need a young person. I definitely don't remember.
No, I forgot now. Next phone. Don't feel now yet. You know, I can't rely upon your word. That
yeah, man. You can't go.
Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Next call. Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Cleveland let me down.
Let you down in the hole?
Yeah.
When let you down in the roof? A hole in the roof?
By come out and talking the truth. Because Mr. Barr did come out publicly and say him doing like that. Because Mr. Barr was saying he believed himself in the party would be the next one in line.
Then you business in a foul fight?
Eh? Hey, Mr. Barr family, you know. Then
yes, but it's not that you call here for because you were waiting on Cleveland.
Yeah, but Cleveland is a man where I have great respect for that JLP man.
As a foul, in the foul fight, I use a cockroach. You better respect him.
Yes,
hello, are you there? I'm not insulting you when I say you're a cockroach. I don't really mean that.
No, man, I don't like that, man.
I don't mean
you're
that.
You're a good friend, man.
Yeah, because, you see, I don't want to hurt no cockroach.
Hey. Live at table last night, there was a lady on it named Golden. I'm Mr. Golden's daughter?
Yes, I'm Bruce Golden's daughter. She's a liar.
But me you see him bring brother talk about him two sister.
She and Pernell Charles' daughter, them good looking, man.
But one time, I see one of Pernell Charles picking, you know, he's a doctor, you know. He don't see him like Golden, you know. Me tell you Golden picking, you know.
No, you're a worthless fellow. We'll go for a 10 midline news.
Good morning with the latest headlines. I'm Kayla Wright. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Marion Bullock-DeCass says there is no shortage of paracetamol tablets and syrup in the public health sector. She says, contrary to some reports, the Ministry of Health, through the National Health Fund, which manages pharmaceuticals, has an adequate supply of the drugs. Paracetamol, such as Panadol, Cetamol, and Tylenol, are used in the treatment and management of the chikungunya virus. DeCass says the ministry has its regular supply in addition to an emergency stock and supplies on orders which can be accessed quickly if the need arises. The National Water Commission has implemented water restrictions to sections of St. Mary as the parish continues to be impacted by the dry spell. The utility company says the IT Boreale water treatment plant is experiencing low inflows. The NWC says customers served by the plant will receive water supply based on a schedule. The NWC says it is therefore urging affected residents to conserve and store water for use until normal service is restored. And a shell has killed 4 people at a school in the rebel-held East Ukrainian city of Donetsk on the first day of classes. Another 6 people died when a minibus was hit elsewhere. No children were apparently hurt when the school playground was shelled, but a biology teacher and a parent are among the dead. And those are the stories making the latest headlines. News next at 11 o'clock. Stay tuned. Straight Up with Jerry Smal continues. I'm Kayla Wright.
Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smal. We're into the second hour of the program, and just before I tell you about one of my grandson's birthday today, Akil, he's in London. And some people tired to hear me talk about some of my son and my family and my grandson and my granddaughter. But anyway, I'm not tired. Just before that, I just want to say, when I said to Wilson, the last thing I said to Wilson a while ago, Mr. Wilson, is say you're a worthless fella. Well, me know say him not really take it as no insult. We just joshing around. See, them I go call one of my grandson name again. One of my grandson name Josh. And Mark Whitner, me talk, you know. Yeah, we just joshing around. And I know Mr. Wilson don't take it now, yeah. And yet at the same time, I was talking to the other listeners who might think that, boy, I shouldn't say that. And maybe I shouldn't say that. So therefore, I apologize to you. I know Sir Wilson don't need no apology. I don't think more none. But him knows so we're not really insulting him. Mr. Wilson. But true I know you and him as friend. You listen to him as friend. Just like how the brethren say me and Mr. Pickers get a friend. Me don't know how him know. Maybe it's true, but how him know? How him get to know so me and Pickers get a friend? I never know so anybody know. But anyway, just like that. Yes, man. Birthday greetings to not only my grandson, Akil Young, but also his father, Craig Young, who is up there in England too. Craig Young. And to his mother, my daughter, Amber Brown. And to his grandmother, Sandra Smal. And all who helped to reproduce him and produce him and take care of him. Akil. Happy birthday, Akil. 1st of October. And I believe him as well. I think he was 21 now today, I think he was 21, yes. And greetings down there to all of the Young family down in George's Plain. The Young family, they're the grandparents of Akil Young. Yes. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to 2 phone calls before we talk to Mr. Mark Whitner. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir, how are you doing?
Good morning, Jerry.
Yes, sir, welcome.
Yes, not too bad. The Ebola virus or disease or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Good. Couldn't the government have heard of other countries having this fever detecting device? Couldn't they put some at the airports? I
think that is what I saw, you know.
Yes.
I saw some equipment at an airport that detect heat.
Yes.
And which would be one of the primary indications somebody having a temperature, this, that, the other. I think there's something like that, yeah.
Yes, so in an event like that, in a case like that, the person would not be allowed to come to enter the country then?
No, they whatever them use and detect whatever symptom would alert them to make further checks.
Yes.
I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know. And Mr. Warmington was talking in the Parliament yesterday about this being some people embarrassing the place and so on. But I mean that
embarrassing what?
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing what?
Being, you know.
Embarrassing
like
what?
Embarrassing the house.
By doing what?
You know,
By doing what?
Probably them behavior and so on, but it is not a common thing, man.
No, hold on. Mr. Warmington was talking about people embarrassing the house, or other people were referring to him embarrassing the house?
No, man, he was saying that people are embarrassing the house. Some of them embarrassing the house.
Yeah.
So I couldn't understand what I mean.
I don't know, but I know him call one of them a nincompoop.
Yes, he called him a nincompoop.
Why you block it? I want to pronounce the thing properly, you know, that nobody no mistake what I say.
Nincompoop.
Yes. That's a big word. That's a big word. That's a big word for a little thing.
For a little thing. You know? And on the topic of music, Bongo Jerry.
Yeah.
There's a singer. He has lately come on the scene by the name of John High.
John High. I know him good, man, long time. Come from Mobile.
Okay.
You know him?
I don't really know him, but he's sounding good, man. I saw him on television and he's sounding very good.
Oh, yes, sir. I miss that. I'm a brethren, you know.
Yes.
John High from down on Mobile. He's well known on the hotel circuit.
Yes. He was doing Bob Marley's song.
Yes.
And so he sounded very good, man.
Yes, he was a guitarist. He was a guitarist also. And,
yes. And he had this band behind him and so on.
Yeah, I'm well known. And he have a son who is an artist too. Forget what his name. Lidge. I think his name Lidge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Bongo, tell me something. Free son calls you sometimes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know him, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, I big him up, man.
Yes, sir.
I saw him up on my road the other day and I was talking to him and so on.
Yeah.
I big him up.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Bongo, Jerry.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Good. Take care of yourself.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Welcome to Straight Up, hello.
Rastaman vibration positive.
You must try a thing. Try a thing. No, you have to come. No, you have to come better than that. You have to come. And you know what to do. You know what to do. Otherwise, let's cut out. Cut out. Ebola and worse. You know her. You know. But as Babs Greenwood said, disgraceful. But hear me down at talk about a little while now. Somebody said them say a loyal lady named Miss Golden Pan live at 7 last night. I just come and say, yes, man, Bruce Golden daughter, because I say, yeah, man. I say, she good looking like Pernell Shaw's daughter. The next thing you hear them say, I praise up 2 politicians daughter, how them good looking, and 2 laborite, and me a laborite. Because that's the last thing this woman saying, the last caller we just hear here. The last caller that I entertained her on. She start the call by saying, all laborite white boy, and some of that nasty thing. And she well known. And but the thing about it is you have plenty of PNP have daughter we're good looking, you know. But because I don't say so at the same time now, you know, them try. But we soon come to Mark Whitner. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up, you know. The other caller was there. Well, we're running numbers. I want to take one more call, there's a reason why. For Straight Up, we have a choice of numbers. 702-3470. 702-3470, 702-2585, 702-2585, 977-7638. Yes, thank you very much. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up.
Good morning.
Yes. Walk on.
Yeah, Mr. Whitner doesn't come on as here, but I'd want him address the issue, if he could talk about his views on the logistics of that. A lot of politicians and even some of our local people feel is the panacea for Jamaican unemployment problem.
Yeah, okay, hear this now.
And the other one about the campaign financing, even with...
Yes. Right, hear this now. After we talk for a while, maybe you get a chance to call in and then now you can put those questions. Cause I think the things that I have for spur him there, go and take up the previous time, and then after 11 o'clock you try to call him, not true?
Okay, so you're going to spur on Mr. Wigner. You know spur was that thing?
No, I'm not going to spur on Mr. Wigner. I'm going to spur the discussion.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and other thing about, okay, so but is it to listen to Warmington last night?
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is that we have enough things in our budget already. And this lady who wrote in the Gleaner on Sunday about the same issue, asking more from the Jamaican people. When I hear Trevor Monroe talking about it's good for democracy, and if we can...
So what is... Hold on. You're not making it clear. Listen, you're not making it clear that the discussion was about campaign financing. And when you don't do that, people not knowing what you're talking about, and they know them not going to be able to follow what you're saying and make a good assessment of your comments. So, what is it about campaign financing that what they was talking about? What
they were saying, like, each political party, right, would become registered like a limited liability company, something like that. And then they would also get money from the consolidated fund or from the regular. Each year when you have a budget presentation, money will be put aside to help finance parties. So you are taking more from the overtaxed and overburdened Jamaican populace to finance politicians now. So them sinking them teeth deeper and deeper into the trough.
Yeah, well, originally, you know, Monroe formed one of the more successful third parties in recent times. Did you know that?
Yeah, man. We used to sell Struggle High School, so man. I'm a product of it.
What is about high school?
I used to sell Struggle when I was going to high school, so.
Okay. So now, I soon get some correction on that. All right. Anyway, Monroe and some other people formed one of the more successful third parties in recent time. Them never win any seat, but them stayed around for a little time.
Yeah.
More than the political third parties of the 40s and 50s. Some of them stay around for a good time. I think some of them either one seat or somebody who one seat independently got into them. But in recent times, the WPJ, Workers' Party of Jamaica, the NDM, National Democratic Movement, and the Marcus Garvey political, well, the PPP formed by Miguel Lon and some other people. They have stayed around for a little while, but not that successful. But Monroe, WPJ, and the NDM has stayed around for a few years and have had some influence on one on the PNP and the other one on the JLP. Now, when Monroe and those people were developing their ideas about political activity, they did start to develop them from in the 60s, most of them, and before. But in practical terms, then them start to develop them more in the 70s. Monroe and some other people realized that campaigning successfully in Jamaica and other countries is big money business, and the methods of getting big money were limited. So one of the methods was by keeping in good relationship with people who had money, whether businessmen or people who had money, whether it's racehorseman, musician, businessman, so on. And another method was to try and campaign to see if the government and the taxpayers could finance parties so that people like Fame Party could get money for run election. There was some other method that was thought about, some revolutionary method. Yes, and I want to tell you. Say what?
In St. Mary, it was alleged that things went down in places like St. Mary.
Things went down in St. Mary?
Yes.
Yes, man, only part of revolutionary method, hijack.
Yeah.
Hey, a man come to me one time, you know. Hey, if you ever know some suggestion what some man bring to me, man, when me a youth, man. Man come to me, one time a man come to me in a trench town, you know. And I said to me, say, let us take the U.S. ambassador. I don't know which part me and him will take U.S. ambassador go. But him thought it was a good idea, because him say, well, then he could have raised some money. Ransom.
Was it tushing peg?
Eh?
He had burned a little bit too much?
No, man, him didn't have right, man. But all kind of different method was thought of, and some of those method was implemented. Although the funds never some of the funds never really go. Never reached to where it was to the project where it intended. But you know, it probably was a seed money.
Okay.
So anyway, what I'm trying to point out is that Trevor Monroe and many other people, some of the right, some of the left, some of the center, started out with that idea because it was difficult for them to access the usual big money donation from the usual sources.
Okay.
And then now after I think them disbanded WPJ and become a part of the PNP, like many others, some become a part of the JLP. Some become part of the JLP. Some of them become part of the New Beginning movement, and things evolve and turn over and metamorphose. A metamorphose or foresight. No, what I don't know, meta. Anyway, they're meta. So anyway, this is how it developed until him gradually it take on as a life of itself. The campaign funds financed by taxpayers take on a life of itself different from little by little. Me I try paint out few brushstroke to see if you can understand.
Well, Trevor Monroe has had many lives. He started as a leftist, then a socialist, then a lot of things. Many lives.
Yeah. And it's not that in itself is not a crime.
No.
All right, thanks a lot, dear sir.
No.
Well, hear this now. We have two more calls, but can you stay after 11 o'clock? So we can, yeah, man. And that way, you know, the callers will get to interact with you. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up. We're just going to take them two.
Hello?
Yes?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
You know how much it takes? You know how much it takes? It means spend $18 per one text to send to you. And you don't read it, and I keep on doing this. You know how much money that is? You know, send me a straight up, don't it?
You sound straight up, yes?
Me always straight up, and I tell it to you like it is. So if you don't like it, that is your business, but me just tell you like it is. When me spend my money to send text and them don't read, it burn me. You understand me?
Tell me something.
Me. It's either you not read the text or you say you not read that one there.
Tell me something.
No, when I send the text, I spend the money, then I can't text and make up bus here for my picnic.
Yeah. Tell me.
I go up on the bus and short it.
Tell me something.
I can't go up on JUTC. You understand me?
All right.
I'm waste my credit now. I talk to you for understand. Say, when me call, when me text, you must read my text them.
Tell me something. You hear me?
I hear you.
I sound like somebody who afraid to read different texts.
For reason?
No, afraid to read different texts according to what them.
No, so that's why I wonder when I cannot read the text them. So I wonder if sometimes when my text them come up, them just come up blank.
Yeah, well, hear this now.
Yeah, you understand what I say? Anyway, I can't think that, I can't say one little thing. This virus thing, you see? This thing where in the ear, this thing where when you breathe from people, them get it and they go on and tell them lies. You see, nastiness, breed disease and carelessness bring disgrace, and that is what in Jamaica now. But the Indian race, you see anybody in an Indian extract or Chinese extract with it? With
what?
And then up on a guan and a pin up on a puff and pant.
With what?
With the, say them have chikungunya or them take it or whatever. You see anybody hear about anybody with Chinese extract, Chinese extract or Indian extract?
I don't take any survey. What are you leading to?
No, because me I do my survey. I'm not in Indian and a Chinese. I'm not in none of them have it.
Yeah.
Like I have 2 kids who are Indian extract and they are the only 2 in the family of 8 that don't have it. And I have one little 6-year-old girl and she's the only one that me never. She's the last one. Me never give her immunization and I don't have no intention. And she's the only one who fight back it like it never happened. Me just pass through in a day like it never happened. So, I want it for things. I go on and me see Sir Peter Bunting know nothing about this thing here.
Yeah. And what give you that feeling?
Oh, you mean what? I'm the Minister of Security? I'm the Minister of Security, you know.
Just the fact.
Peter Phillips did know enough things that we never know.
Just the fact.
Like the sellout thing, eh?
Yeah. Just the fact that the Minister of Security gave that feeling.
Eh? Me just have eerie feelings about him. The man, the name Mr. Bunting, him just not shoot and straight up. Him just alienish looking and alienish. Right. You know, just a feel, an eerie feeling.
All right. Listen here now. I'm going to look out for your test and see if I can detect it. That's why I listen.
You mean the chikungunya thing?
No, I listen to you how you talk, and therefore now I'm going to be able to identify which text coming from you. And I'm going to try to see if I can look
all right.
Thank you very much. Good morning and well, last phone call before Mr. Whitner. Good morning, welcome to Straight Up. Yes, ma'am, how are you going?
Yes, last year the first. Blessed morning I was hoping I would be in, you know. Come here, you countdown, you know.
Yeah. Yes, man.
Yeah, man, give thanks and praise, morning, man.
Yes, I are going.
I'm blessed to the globe, you know, all who listen to New Start 93 FM, you know.
Yeah.
Those at home and those abroad. Yes, it's Mr. Smal. I've been considering emancipation and independence, you see?
Yeah.
Jamaica got emancipation, or we got independence. What's the difference between independence and emancipation?
Well, the emancipation that you're talking about is referring to the outlawing of slavery in Jamaica, and that slavery in Jamaica was imposed upon Africans in Jamaica, Africans out of Africa, and carried out in Jamaica. Independence supposed to be recognizing Jamaica as a state independent from any other state. You understand?
Okay, you're supposed to be on your own. You're not supposed to have no orders. You're not fall under no orders of that state.
Not you. No, not you. Like what you say, you. Not you and not me. The Jamaican territory was handed over to a set of people, and they were recognized as being the officers of a state that's separate and independent of the former colonizer. Them not hand over to me and you, them hand over to a certain set of people.
Okay. So, in the case of you have to force these kind of people, Mr. Smal, we can come to boy, right? We have to hand it over to a set of people, no one give them constitution or them set it up for us. What is the consequence leading up to that, Mr. Smal? How does one get independent?
No, independence is not something you get. Independence
that's what I'm saying. What's the method of getting it? Well, me believe in fighting with blood and them things there.
Fight with blood. Well, hear me now.
Blood supposed to draw you.
Draw.
And life taking.
Yeah. Well, the independent nation, them not really independent. Them fight domination for true. And if you want some example, I can get 2 examples.
Yeah.
Because one is recent and everybody remember them clear. The South African people reach about halfway towards them independence, you know. With the victory of Nelson Mandela and the ANC, the South African people are reach about halfway in them independence struggle. And it did involve fighting in all kind of way, fighting through courthouse, fighting through strike, fighting through capturing land, and then it involved an armed struggle, and it involved man going to prison for lifetime and all them way there. And them reach about halfway here now. And then now nearby to us, the nearest piece of land to Jamaica, nearest large piece of land to Jamaica, Cuba. The Cuban people, the Cuban people make many attempts at independence, and the most successful ones start in about the late 40s to the early 50s, and it's still taking place. The Cuban Revolution, them reach like more than halfway, and sometimes some nation turn back from the revolution with them upon, and China is the next one too. And you see how successful China is.
Yeah, I'm really admire the Cuba fighting, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because I can see some...
But it can't start with fight. Listen here. I can tell you this. It can't start with fighting, you know. And you mustn't quick for fight.
Yeah, just resist.
No, but you must quick for... Yeah, you have a quick for resist, you know. And determined for defend your family and thing. But in terms of, say, you have fight revolution, physical revolution, don't quick for run go to that.
Yeah, I don't really say quick for fight, man, but what you really is you just resist the oppression. But so when you're while you're there, you resist the oppression and the oppression keep coming, then sometimes the oppression just come to a war.
No, you reach it too quick. In 2 sentences you reach it. You reach it too quick. You reach it too quick, yeah. Yes.
Well, as me I say now.
No, hear me now. I forgot now.
Set up peace, Mr. Smal.
No, what me I tell you now? Tell you now. Start with your family, just like what you've been doing. Start with your family and teach them. And meanwhile you teach them, you try prosper in your trade. Try prosper.
Right.
So you know let go. Don't let go prosperity, and at the same time you teach the children how to maintain freedom. And little by little. If it reaches to a fight, if it reaches to a group of people fighting, it reach there. But don't try to rush it. I forgot here, sir. We're going to go for a break and come back with Mr. Mark Whitner. No more phone calls. Straight.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Yeah, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smal. And here's Mark Whitner. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm very much okay.
Well, Friday when I came out of the studio here, on my way out, I buck you up coming through the university. I'm here to talk a little.
Yes.
And I was minded to invite you, because it's not the first. Well, and I invite you here, and you say, yeah, you will come early in the week.
Yes.
Well, then in the intervening time now, Ian Boyne, I don't want to start out of that. In the intervening time, Ian Boyne write an article about journalism.
Right.
And journalists are a threat to press freedom and so on. But we did schedule this from before that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I read Ian's piece, and somehow he was referring to, I think it was Marcia Forbes. She had written a piece. I'm not quite certain where she had written the piece.
Yeah.
Criticizing either it was me or just generally journalists who are blogging, and especially seeking advertising space.
Yeah.
In other words, the impression I got is that, we are going to be selling out. And I have no idea whether she knows that newspapers are businesses, and there are certain advertisers who don't take too kindly to certain people, whether they're journalists or columnists, writing certain things about certain big businesses. So at some stage, one has to make a judgment, right? Whether it takes place in newspapers all over the world, or whether it takes place in a simple blog. So it is not a simple situation. This is no perfect world. But before I go on to that, I just want to say I think it would be amiss of me not to congratulate you on your program. I've heard it on more than one occasion, and I can tell you, your delivery is straight as it is, and it is full frontal, and you don't hold back anything, Jerry. And listeners, coming from my forum. Listeners may not know that we know each other for a long time now. I think it goes back to 1963. So that probably gives them some idea of that we're not just around just the other day. And we're probably advanced in age. I mean, I'll be 64 in November, and I think you'll be about 16. Thereabouts.
Yes. Yeah, man. I'm a couple of years and a half.
Okay.
Older than you, but we both were teenagers. Well, yes, we both were teenagers.
Yes.
In that same 63 there. Yes. Matter of fact, I think it's Pembroke Hall.
Pembroke Hall. Yes.
We came to know one another.
Definitely, my brother. Definitely. Tell me something. Have you had the chicken gunman yet?
No. I don't know. No, not conscious. No.
Okay. Because
you?
No. You know how I see it, Jerry? It is like a partner draw.
Mm-hmm.
And we just wait on our draw. And in my case, I am hoping that I am getting last draw. And by that time, I'm supposed to get the draw. The banker run off with the chicken gun and run out.
I see where you was going, and I was trying to play a musical chairs today and get in the seat before you. That I hoping for. Yes.
Yes, because everybody around me is just falling down. And I think one caller made a mention that, or hinted at it, that everybody seems to get it a little bit differently. My ex-wife had it for about 2 days. I know some people, they're down for about a week, and others, they're back on the road the next day. So it all depends, I would imagine, on your particular immune system, how you're eating.
I mean, it depends on your fortitude.
Definitely.
Your fortis, you might fall, but you're not going to yield.
Fortis all the way, man. The brave may fall, but never yield.
So why I mentioned that?
Oh, come on, man. I have to put in a punch for Fortis.
No, I put it in because I know that.
Yes. But I'm very worried, personally, and I believe that the governmental authorities have to be also worried. There are a number of people in our communities, who are feeding on porridge and crackers, and bag juice. And when the chicken gunman come for them, they're not going to do very well with it at all, because they don't have that nutritional base, and it's going to pitch them over. And I don't know how many listeners know that as early as 2012, a meeting was kept at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. I think it was sponsored by PAHO. And
the Pan American Health Organization.
Right. And it was held in May, and it was the Caribbean Sub-Regional Training Workshop, introducing the new guidelines, preparedness and response for chikungunya introduction in the Americans in the context of dengue. So our governmental authorities cannot now make any excuses that they were not prepared, or they should have been prepared. But based on what I saw happening, and certainly the Minister of Health, Fenton Ferguson, came on Sunday and made a little kind of tepid response. And it was almost as if he was coming in after show cut.
Yeah.
And Jerry, have you ever seen any political administration in the history of this country that on any issue have acted with urgency? I mean, I can remember sometime in the 70s, Michael attempted to do some things with some urgency, and we saw what that did economically. I can remember in the response to Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, Seaga did what I consider to be a fantastic bit of crisis management, but of course we had a whole heap of people thieving zinc all over the place. But somehow I don't get the impression that any one of the individuals in either the PNP or the GLP at cabinet level know how to respond with a sense of urgency. And if you do, please tell me.
Some who respond with some urgency don't care to communicate with humility. So through that now, after Seaga administration lead a recovery after Gilbert, them lose the election that the recovery should have win.
Definitely.
Should have win them that 89 election.
Definitely.
But instead of that, them lose it.
5 months after.
And then a little more like Bustamante, him blame the people and say, the people them don't understand him, that's why I'm losing.
Yes, that because.
Alright, by the way, I'm going to go all over the place, but we're going to come back to whatever you want to come back to. Portia Simpson Miller, she took over leadership of the PNP and of the government in 2006 and enjoyed at her peak, correct me because you're a pollster trained by Carlstone, at her peak I think her peak of popularity was even higher than Michael Manley and Bustamante.
That is
I don't think she maintained that peak, but overall in terms of long distance maintain her popularity I think she outdo both of them.
You're correct on that.
But the peaks and troughs, right?
Yes.
And yet, within 18 months of becoming the leader of the PNP and the government, the PNP lost an election against a relatively colorless Bruce Golding and JLP. It is true that they was in authority for 18 and a half years and they might have been
stale.
But this was a new leader, very popular. Matter of fact, she have a crossover appeal, like Bustamante, like Michael Manley, and like some others, including Shearer. Shearer had a crossover appeal with plenty of people on the other side like him as a likable person.
Definitely.
And Portia Simpson will have that same crossover appeal where people on the other side like her too. And furthermore, she had the endorsement of Seaga.
Yes. Indeed.
And yet with so many things going for her in 18 months she lose against a relatively colorless Bruce Golding JLP.
Well, I believe that that loss came about because she got some bad advice. She should have gone for the elections a few months after February 2006.
Yeah.
But that so-called colorless Golding, I think he sensed something. So when he came with the Trafigura revelations, that put paid to any sort of attempt she would have wanted to do any early elections. And I think...
But that wasn't until September.
That was late.
That is 6 months.
She should have gone for the elections by about July.
Yeah, and that means she would have been campaigning from
right
May,
after.
June.
Yes,
right
yes.
after.
Right after she got it.
And
I believe that somehow it caught her almost unawares. Well, she knew she would have got it, but I don't believe that she knew what it meant to be Prime Minister of the country at that particular time. And I don't think she had fully digested it. So she would have been listening to all sorts of advisors, those who were extremely close to her and those who were on the outside the door wanting to give her advice. And I suppose that there were some people that she just didn't trust because there were others who figured that, if they were going to be seen as her main advisors, well, what they were really trying to do was to use her to get themselves somewhere. So, there was a plethora of advice, and I think in the long run, she just acted wrongly and at the wrong time.
All right, now, talking about polls, Carlstone, I was in this area when Carlstone was perfect in my understanding of polling.
Yes.
There was a man named Archie Singham who was a social scientist at the university here. And because of being a social scientist, him study people, especially people behavior in groups, social, right? And him start to use polls. And matter of fact, him was quite close to Siaga as the young bright minister in the JLP government.
That is so.
Yes, and I remember, I think him play a part in the 1967 election, and then now in the 72 election, him the part that him play was not successful, or the JLP was not successful. But one thing I know, in the meantime, Carlstone learned a lot about scientific polling.
Definitely.
And after that, Carlstone not only start to teach some of the science, not only of polling, but a political science that Carlstone know well. And him start to write columns and so on, and him was most accurate in polling.
Oh, definitely. There was just no one who came close to him.
How soon after school, or in school, you start to be apprenticed by him? You start your apprenticeship?
No. That would have been, I would have been in my 30s. This is sometime in the 80s, you know. And I started out by just being an interviewer.
Yeah.
And then after that, I moved to.
Because I married your sister.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. Rosemary Stone.
Yeah.
And you know, after that, I started to doing some inside work. You know, some basic coding.
Yeah.
And then we got closer, and you know, I'm not going to say that he said this is my methodology, because there was one thing about Carl, you know, especially when he was writing those biting columns, he would say it is no secret. I teach it up at the university.
Yes. All right, let's go for a break. This is interesting. Come back.
News Talk 93 FM. Real news. Real talk. Heard everywhere.
Yes, welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smal, and we have Mark Whitner, who needs no introduction, and he got none. And he was telling us about how his brother-in-law used to bolster the confidence of field by making them know this is no rocket science. I, Carlstone, teach this thing at the university successfully. In other words, me teaching it successfully means that people learn it.
Or ought to.
Yes.
Have learned it.
Yeah, go on from there.
Yes. It would seem to me that that over the years, politicians on both sides of the fence, and when we say both sides of the fence, we're talking about PNP and JLP.
Yeah.
They rely a lot on polls, and if I may just jump.
For instance,
okay.
People know what polls mean, but a lot of people out there,
yes,
them do identify words immediately. Okay. Like all the vox pop, the opinion. When the TV camera come out there on the street and say, what do you think about cartel? And people answer. That is a form of polling, but not very scientific.
It is absolutely not scientific, but it makes for good news.
Yes.
Right? What takes place in the newspapers and on the vox pop on TV, or and I suppose maybe even on radio it is done.
Yeah.
It makes for some very nice sound bites and stuff like that, but it is certainly not scientific.
Yeah.
But over the years, our politicians, you know, if a poll comes out and it doesn't favor a particular political party, the very first thing that they're going to say is that it is rubbish, and or it wasn't done at all. Well, if it was actually published, you know, they're going to say, oh, we don't follow polls, especially if they are seen behind.
Yeah.
I am understanding that in recent weeks, 13 constituency polls have been done, not by any outfit with which I am connected, and these are the 13 constituencies thought to be weather vane constituencies. In other words, those constituencies tend to show a vote that equates to the national vote. So, you know, they can be used as weather vane constituencies. And it is my understanding that they are showing numbers that doesn't make the present administration look too good. I dare say that is almost normal when you're gone half term.
Midterm, yeah.
Yes. You know, the party in power gets stale. The people not expecting any election anytime soon. And the sort of responses they will give. Because when you come to ask that crucial question, if an election was held now, how would you vote? If you are midterm and you are the actual respondent and you're not expecting an election, you tend almost to answer on a eeny, meeny, miny, moe basis, or you just go with your traditional pattern. You know, so it's hard to make a judgment there. But it is my understanding that those 13 polls are not very making the PNP look attractive right now. On the other hand, you have the JLP that can't seem to get its act together, because the leadership of the JLP is, to say the least, wobbly. Well, Jerry, you knew my personal choice for leadership of the JLP was Audley Shaw. And it's not because I believe that Audley Shaw is a brighter man than Holness, or Holness is any less than anything else. I just believe that the way the politics is made up now, you need a man with a big mouth. You need a man who can go up there and stir up the emotions of the people. And in the Jamaican context, and how the Jamaican people respond to political leaders, and especially in the context of Portia Simpson Miller, all Portia has to do is go up there and make about 2 or 3 speeches, you know. And Andrew Holness is almost history.
Yeah.
She still has that magic. And I believe that she's underplaying it. I don't know what is holding her back. Because even in this chicken gunner or chicken gunman, or am I allowed to say gonorrhea?
Yeah, man, every day people say it.
Because I hear it.
No, it's a proper word.
Yes, it is.
If you talk it in patois, though, it cannot be said.
No.
You know that?
Yes, man. And I tell you something. There are some other words that I hear, but I don't think I'll be allowed to say it on national radio. That to me was another opportunity that she just deliberately missed. Because Fenton Ferguson messed it up. The man made a hash of it. And this is where I believe that the leadership of the party, the prime minister of the country, all she had to do was come out, say something nice, canned and packaged. Because what a political...
Listen here, you don't understand this. If public opinion forces somebody stubborn to do something, it is putting them to work. And once you put them to work, she know that one speech, one response not going to do it. It have to become a way of life, a way of relating. And
I see what you're driving at.
I think she has been spoiled.
Yes, indeed.
'Cause everybody around her want to please her, except PJ and a few more. That's why PJ thought the other day, said, at every level, arrogance must be avoided. Him talk to them plain enough. At every level, arrogance must be avoided. But apart from that, everybody else around her want to please her and thing.
Well, he has the best intention in the world in saying that. But to say to a political party, at every level, arrogance must be avoided, I mean, that is an impossibility. Politicians, by their very nature...
No, I mean in relating, no.
In relating to the people.
Him never come across as being so arrogant and so abrasive, you know.
No, never.
And yet him have arrogance, you know.
But of course. And I hasten to say...
But him underplayed.
Yes.
And not only that.
That is his strength.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most bright people tend to be arrogant.
Yeah.
You know that. And for him to...
I've heard that.
Yeah, come on, you know it, man. And what PJ did, he learned how to handle it.
Yeah.
You know, and that is the greatest strength. Our Prime Minister, you made a point a while ago, a very valid one, that once you get her to change her normal relationship with the people, the people are going to expect her to, you know, well, when are we going to hear from Portia again? Because, boy, we heard from her last week. And, you know, she's on record in saying that I am not going to talk myself out of power.
Yes.
So maybe she's smarter
That
than...
is our philosophy.
Yeah.
That is a little bit of our philosophy leak out of our mouth.
Yeah.
Because in 2006, she had a little experience of it. That after winning the election in the PNP, she was advised and they carried out a cleansing of Peter Phillips' candidate.
Yes.
And then to crown it, in about September 2006, Bruce Golden said that he got some information. And it's the kind of information about which you are very careful because it can be a trap. Like when people send me false information. Sometimes them send it as a trap.
Yes,
for you to repeat it and then now you lose credibility.
I get that.
So Golden said he was very wary of it, the information, because it's the kind of information that you can throw you down if you use it and it turn out to be false. And he said when he checked it out completely, it was as solid as a rock. What solid as a rock mean to you?
In other words, it is totally believable and it is totally factual.
Not only that, he was hinting that it might not have come from Peter Phillips. And him doubt whether it coming from Peter Phillips himself, but it is coming from somebody inside there.
Right.
More likely on the Peter Phillips side, but inside enough to know factually that the traffic were money was being rinsed in there. And when him came out with that, it completely And then now she continued talking. Her first response when I asked her about traffic guru was not to talk and to say, don't ask me about that. It's not I got the money. Ask the PNP. But after that, coming down in 2007 now, she didn't maintain the policy of not talking too much. And not only she continued to talk, but she started to take advice from people like Pastor Finn.
Oh, good God.
And that kind of thing about not only about election date, but about being chosen by God.
Yes.
And she talk, and then the hurricane season clash with her, and that is where the talking out of pot. Do you remember that for about 2 days after the election verdict, that she was not dealing with the results well? And she refused. She said, I'm not accepting the results.
Excessively petulant.
You know?
Yes, because she actually never thought that could happen to her.
Yeah.
She genuinely believed that.
By a Bruce Golden.
Who
just returned to JLP and was so pale.
How did you describe him earlier? Colorless?
Yes. Comparatively colorless.
Comparatively colorless.
Yeah.
Yes, and Portia, ironically, I mean, they said that when you look back, that is 2020 vision.
Yeah.
And I think what that did for Portia, that loss, was strengthen her.
Yeah.
Strengthen her, and we saw what happened in 2011.
Yeah.
We definitely saw what happened in 2011.
We saw what happened in 27.
Yes.
And 28 when Peter Phillips challenged back.
Yes.
And she never win by that wholly, but it certainly strengthened her, and then now she and Peter Phillips come to term. And more importantly, after JLPR rule, is KD Knight bring back the PNP in contention. And KD Knight became an asset to her. He was an asset to the JLP, because in that campaign, the KD Knight advertisement.
Oh, it was almost destructive towards her.
Almost.
Apparently so.
Yes. But she grew.
Yes.
And she make back amends and rapprochement with Peter Phillips and KD Knight.
Definitely. And the JLP has not learned how to do that inside there.
No. Well, let's go for a break now. We'll go for the 11 a.m. headline news, straight up.
News Talk 93 FM. Heard everywhere.
Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smal, and we're into the third hour of the program. And I have my guest with me here, Mark Whitner. He's not a guest columnist, but he's a well-known journalist and well-known pollster. But I'm going to read some text messages. Now, the text messages are very important to me, Mark, because It is not scientific, but it is a form of polling.
Obviously.
And that's why I always encourage my producers and production assistants to give me all of the text messages. Because sometimes them, especially when the program began just 4 years ago, sometimes them see some text messages which are so unpleasant, and some of them risky in terms of legal content.
Yes.
That they're tempted not to give them to me, or sometimes them want me, maybe they don't want to read this one or but I welcome all of them, and I don't try to hide. I am not angry about it. I might make some harsh comment about them, but Mr. Man, I don't carry feeling business.
No.
And I want to see all of them, and I will read all of them. I don't remember refusing to read any.
Okay.
And matter of fact, I'm not going to follow up any of them. So a call I just today, the first call, I suggested that I survey them and even check out the phone number them and all them kind of thing. I know I could do that, but I don't. No. Just like I said, in recent years, I have broken myself out of the habit of looking on the driver who just give me a bad drive.
I heard that.
Because it's not good for me.
And plus, you have to keep your sanity.
Then that's the main point. I'm going to read some text messages. Jerry, I am a Christian. I was listening to you trying to explain Jonah and the fish. The Bible said the Lord prepared a fish for Jonah. It wasn't just any fish. Anyway, you are not hopeless. At least you believe. I know Rastafarians who have converted to Christianity. But Rastafari is a Christian. His Haile Selassie name Rastafari, and he's a Christian. So don't be surprised about Rastafari embracing Christianity and Christians embracing Rastafari. I want to show you there are far more Christians who have embraced Rastafari, more than Rastafarians who have embraced Christianity. But it's all one embrace. But hear this now. Yeah, man, anyway. Next one. That was my comments after the text message. Next one. Jerry, he was shot and killed. I think they're talking about the security guard who accosted Hugh Crosskill. And it is said he shot him, and shortly after that, I think he was killed. Well, this text is saying that, and I'm just going to ask Mark for a short comment after. Jerry, he was shot and killed, and the police that had that case was also shot and killed coming from Howard. You remember what happened to that security guard?
No, I don't remember what happened to the security guard, but I can remember writing something about it. And based on what certain people told me, it seemed as if Hugh was in a well, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I believe he was in a troubled state.
Yeah.
And he almost taunted the security.
Oh. You mean to dare him? Daring him? I know you don't want to speak authoritatively. What you heard, that's what you heard.
I got the impression that Hugh Crosskill was at such a low stage that maybe he looked on life and he looked on the other side, and he made a decision.
Well, he might have been in the state of mind like Mario Dean, who said, I don't like police. I have a whole security guard, brethren and sisters, you know. I have some security guard, or security, not even security people, you have some gatekeepers. When I say gatekeepers, not any disparaging thing, people who stand between you and the person who you want to go to. Some of the most senior people in the government, well-respected people, they are gatekeepers. They stand between you and Portia and say, no, I don't want it to trouble her, no, I don't want. So he's not looking down on people when I call them the gatekeeper.
Talk about arrogance.
Yeah, you have some gatekeepers, and you don't look down on them, because St. Peter, then St. Peter no gatekeeper. Eh?
According to the biblical.
Then Roger Clark, now if you negotiate with St. Peter, I'll know probably the negotiation still going. All right?
I think he's enjoying himself.
So when you call somebody gatekeeper, you're not looking down on them. You have some gatekeepers who say to you, well, I'm going to show you something now. You think you can't just come through yourself. I'm going to show you for respect security.
That one.
So in that way, Mario Dean might have said, I don't like police, you know. And you see what happened after that. And as you might have heard, Hugh Crosskill might have said, I don't want any guard come question me. Or do you know that this person here this doctor who I'm going to is my friend, and you and him can't, you're not even in the same class as him. I can't say you, Chris, will say that, but
no,
in a certain state, you know, but he might have said something like what Mario did.
I know what you mean.
Next text message. Good morning, Jerry. More blessing to Indicom and our international partners. The police slaughter in our poor Jamaican youths, of poor Jamaican youths, has decreased dramatically, and so has the crime. Well, the murder figures sound impressive, as they did sound impressive in other periods of time. Next one, blessed Jerry. What the dog them a catch chick we? Yeah, we hear of some dog getting giant pain and can't hardly walk on them, you know. And recovering also. Next one. I saw the Bill Gates interview you talked about. I saw a devilish smile when he stated that now the virus was first found in that region. All right, I want you to watch it again and again. I want to watch it again too. Next one. Garnet would be a poor detective. If people want to create havoc with text, all they have to do is change phones. Yeah. Next one. Garnet is getting over his head. Nowadays, he's finding problems. No, he's finding problems in every solution. Well, as Garnet would say, he identifies himself, but you do identify yours. And nothing wrong with you not identifying yours, because the text message is specially arranged that if you don't want, for the people who don't want to. And Mark as a poster know that some people would give you some more honest answers if you never identify them. Not to the public, you know, but if you never say to them, so by the way, what's your name? And then you start, you would get some probably frank answer.
Or it could go the exact opposite way. Yes.
Yes. Next one. Garnet go easy. People number straight up is, so Garnet go easy. People number straight up is not the FBI. We know most don't like it, the show, coming from Brave Youth. We know most don't like the show coming from Brave Youth. Well, I hope Brave Youth poll is not scientific. If him say most don't like the show, but anyway, we can sustain the truth anyway it can come. Next one. Jerry, so-called leaders wait until things happen before they start act. Like the chikungunya is 2 years ago they know about it, coming from Apache Larchie. Next one. Jerry, Portia says she want to see the woman them get better pay. Why she don't start from the domestic workers, coming from Apache Larchie. Next one. Morning Bongo is what Garnet wanted to do. Screen texters. Him getting mad. Him need to screen him calls them. Why the texter them are lick back in. Remember, so this is the text message session.
Yes.
Them. Next one, morning, Jerry. Now that Jamaica passed the IMF test, I hope the government remember to pay the retired police and other government workers that them owed for over 2 years. We need money. Yeah, I really hear say some police who supposed to get some pay. People who leave the force and people who want, I think them call it accelerated retirement and all them kind of way. Sometimes some long time, some of them have to wait for money. Next one. If the PNP free ganja, what percent chance you think the JLP have in getting power in the next 25 years? Well, I knew, and I was talking about this from the 90s, because from in the 90s the ganja legalization thing was being played around.
Yes.
And I know that the PNP are a special set of people who know that they would adopt this as a special election winner when the right time comes. And you don't draw for these trump cards until you are in real trouble.
Timing is everything.
Yes, and just as I say, when you see a pale and colorless JLP win an election in 2007, the PNP know that the time of one-term government might be near.
Definitely.
It might even be here. And because of that, you know that they would bring out something like the ganja legalization when thing really needed. But anyway, we're going to take some phone calls in about 15 minutes. But we're back to Mark Whitner. What I wanted to say, Mark, is that well, I said one of the things that I wanted to say. Apart from Carl Stone giving legitimacy, full legitimacy to scientific polling, another major thing that he did was to spread the understanding of garrison politics wide and far in Jamaica. There were some also who know about it long time and been talking about it from youth. But with the position that Carlstone had earned, he got to listen to far more, and he studied it even far more scientifically.
Yes.
And Garrison politics education was one of the greatest contributions he made.
I think he was the individual who coined the term.
Yeah.
He was the one who coined the term. And
even though Michael Manley used the term, but Carl
in relation
he coined it in sociology.
Yes.
And
I think the way Carl had termed it was it was a sort of politics where, you know, those inside the garrison, they almost have a kind of, they see their political party almost in terms of divine principles.
Yeah.
And while at the same
divine right.
While at the same time seeing those who support the other side as the devil.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a divisive thing, and it just it bred hate.
Let me just remind, from the time of Wills Isaacs, who was in Central Kingston long before Michael Manley, and from the time of Dudley Thompson going into West Kingston and Central Kingston in the 50s in connection with federal election and them thing there. You had a set of strong arm who surround not so much the PNP, more even the NWU.
Yes. Those are the
and that forces. Part of Kingston.
Yes.
And people like Ken Hill, Wills Isaacs, and the old Taylor man, I forget his name, the Taylor man. That one of the names of one of them configuration was the Garrison Gang. Before Michael Manley started representing that year, the Garrison Gang was around, and some of them was him driver and him bodyguard, and some of the man was with a carry upon some of the work sites. One of the later work sites was the bauxite plant down in Alpart there, and others before and others after.
And that Garrison Gang would have been the forerunner to the remnants of what? Matthews Lane, or what eventually?
No man, Matthews Lane is an established garrison. Matthews Lane is the first stationary garrison. Because before Matthews Lane, the BITU was a mobile garrison.
Right.
And is that mobile garrison used to protect the PNP. Bustamante was the military leader, the military protection of the PNP. And when him realized that him, the general of the army, when him knew long before, but when him chose to demonstrate that him, the general of the army, have equal power with the head of the nobility, which is Norman Manley.
Right, he just broke.
Him break away.
Yes.
But this is a mobile garrison man who is to move around.
Yes.
Matter of fact, when he was chief minister, or I think he was mayor. Yes, he was mayor and chief minister. And head of the BITU one time. Maybe he might not have been mayor yet. When people were objecting to certain things, when some of the Bellevue workers were objecting to certain things.
So it's about 1947.
46, yes.
Yes.
Him leave out him office and went for his mobile garrison, picked them up down at the wharf, and by the time him walk along Port Royal Street and out to Windward Road, out to Bellevue, it's hundreds of the mobile garrison. Well,
yes.
PNP now, in response to this, about 4 years later, no, not 4 years later, the same year, start to organize a Matthews Lane officially. And Norman Manley himself became a part of that organization, but it was really led by people like the trade union man, the Hill.
So basically that was the seminal stirrings of the whole street forces garrison.
Yeah, that's when PNP started to match GLP.
Yes.
But and Kenny would become now the physical general in the PNP, and people was pointing out to Norman Manley, say, so the man is a rival to you because I'm almost as popular as you, and him have the street forces and so on. But Norman Manley never really fall prey to that too quickly. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. The fact is that when Burry Boy, just after PNP and Michael Manley take control of Jamaica in 1972, Burry Boy was killed down in West Kingston there, and at him funeral, Michael Manley publicly hailed
Yes.
The Garrison gang.
His friends in the garrison.
Compañeros of the garrison. And some gun salute take place. Meanwhile, him I yell them. Him as prime minister, I yell them and gun salute that take place. And the thing step up and step up. But Carlstone took it from just naming the garrison gang to naming garrison politics, which was a leap in the understanding of the leadership in Jamaica.
Yes, and he fleshed out the whole psychology behind it.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, it was just more now than just gun.
Yeah. More than gun.
Yes, because it was a psychology, and certainly in a lot of ways it became the psychology of the individuals inside there. That if you put an orange shirt in a PNP garrison, it doesn't matter who you put inside the shirt. That person going to win, and vice versa in a green shirt.
Because they own the votes.
And they own the mentality of the people inside there.
They own the votes. Yes. They own the ballot boxes.
Yes.
And they own the housing units.
Yes.
They regard it as ownership. And they still have that. No, but no, we're going to a different form of garrison politics now. And a march was carried out in this one, just like how the march of Bustamante to Bellevue was carried out. A march was carried out to North Street, to the Gleaner. I don't think it was Harbour Street. I think it was North Street, but I think that moved to North Street. Was it Harbour? No, it's North Street. I mean March too. When Michael Manley lead the march on the Gleaner. Now, it was thought that no newspaper can match the Gleaner, because the Gleaner come like a garrison of journalism in Jamaica.
The Gleaner was the third party.
Yeah. So it was thought now that no other newspaper, because the Daily News came up last a while and went. Record, Mirror. What's the last one? Herald?
Yes.
When the Observer came up, it was thought that it would last a little while. Well, it was first a weekly, not true?
Yes, it was a weekly. And then it moved from there, and it's been around for a hell of a long time, in relation to all these others that just came and just sputtered and died.
Yeah.
You know. But at that particular time, when Michael marched, was it 78? I think it was, when he spoke about next time.
Next time.
Yes. He recognized that not only was the Gleaner the de facto third party, but if it wanted, it could be the main party.
The second and the ruling.
Yes.
In other words, yes.
He knew that, and you know, he had to show a face to his people that I can stand up to this bastion of power. And, you know, that is what he did. You know, he was just showing some political colors there and some political strength.
So, the Observer survived. You know, as one of the main columnists of the Observer, as Ian Boyne has written on Sunday, like many other people recognize that some advertisers will not buy advertisements if they don't like what you have written repeatedly. Maybe if you write it one time, they will buy next week. But if you repeat it 2-3 times, they will say, not supporting that.
Listen, all newspapers are businesses. And if I owned a newspaper, as much as I may say that I am not going to get involved in the editorial room, if I was the owner of a newspaper and something just came across me, across the desk, or somebody just gave me a little heads up and said there is this columnist or this report that has been made by one of the career journalists showing that this particular advertiser, blah, 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 blah. Now, as a businessman, I hate to say this, but I'll put a big red X across that item. I'll just give you a little anecdotal thing without calling any names. At a particular newspaper, and this would have happened many, many years ago, a journalist came in to the big boss and said, listen, I have some information here, and I know you sit on that particular board of organization X, and the item is about organization X, and I've come to you with it, sir, because I know, if I write about it, it's going to show a conflict of interest. And the big boss looked on it and say, after I read it, put a big X across and said, this is not conflict of interest. This is a convergence of interest. So in the corporate world,
convergence means that them join up, two of them join up.
As simple as that. In other words, a newspaper is a business, and there is no way in which a newspaper can exist without being a business.
Let me point out something just before I let you continue. Newspapers do not make money by the $120 and the $130 that you pay for a Sunday paper. They don't make money like that. The money is made, the profit is made by the advertisements. The money that people pay to advertise in a newspaper, including the death column that you publish a picture of your relative in. Those money that is paid for advertisement, including the death column, is what make the real money for the newspaper, not the $130 that you pay for a Sunday Gleaner. So it's not the numbers of Sunday Gleaners or Sunday Observers that sell make the profit, but the advertisements that go for hundreds and thousands and half of millions of dollars for a full page.
Well, you're about 50% correct there, and the other 50%, which you understand, what you probably just didn't mention, is that once the surveys are done, just like a poll, and it measures the reach or the readership.
Yeah. In other words, the numbers of people that sell is important.
Yes, but one newspaper may be read in a household by three people.
Yeah, so that is 20 readers for each newspaper by the time the household read it. And you go back, you carry it to work.
Yes.
And you talk about it.
Yes. It adds up. And all advertisement in that format is based on readership.
Carried on.
Yes.
So even cartoon, even the people who don't like to read, they discuss the cartoon, and the cartoon increase the circulation.
Definitely. I wish I was Clovis.
Yeah.
I wish I was Clovis. I like his cartoons because we have to face another fact here. We're not a reading population as much as we'd like to be, and so a number of times a good cartoonist can capture something in one little moment that the best columnist with his verbosity could never do. And even if you're going to break it down in simple terms, that cartoonist will just.
That's why there's an exchange rate between cartoons or pictures and words. I think it's 1,000 to 1.
Yes.
The exchange rate.
Yes.
That's why them say a picture is worth 1,000 words. You could have talk and talk and talk, but if I show you a photograph or draw you a picture, say my picture is hard currency.
Definitely. Hit it right on the head.
Well, no, because the advertiser might not like what you say if you repeat it too many times. The fact that you are blogging, and we're not done, I want you explain what blogging is. The fact that you are blogging, using the internet to publish your opinions, and people read them on the internet, and people can advertise on your blog, so that you will earn money if people advertise on your blog and people are reading Mark Whitner on the internet. You can earn some money from advertisers.
Yes.
That seem offensive to some commentators, and when you come back from the break, we're going to clarify that. Straight up. Yes, welcome back to Straight Up, and we are within sight of the end of the last corner, and so it's a straight coming up. Mark Whitner is my guest. And Mark, I like a lot of the work that Master Forbes does, and she's a veteran both of advertising and of media. But that doesn't end the whole discussion. So what I wanted to do, is for the people, because a lot of the people who listen to this program don't have a computer for themselves, don't use a computer, don't go on the internet for themselves. Just describe what is blogging.
Well, a blog is essentially a space on the internet where you carve out. You actually build a website.
Yeah.
And you segment it into the different areas that you're going to write something. Like you're going to write politics, you're going to write entertainment, sports.
Yeah.
And
you pay a fee. You pay a fee.
Issues. Yes.
You pay a money to have that space.
Yes. You actually pay to get it set up, and and you pay to maintain the domain space.
Yeah.
And if, like mine, which is in its infancy, you actually want to build it out so that it can actually attract advertisers.
Yeah.
Well, one, you have to have a sort of a brand name.
Yes.
And I believe I've had that.
Name recognition.
Recognition.
As people hear the name, they say, yeah, man, Mark Whitner.
And you have to have some sort of credibility, I would hope.
Yeah.
You have to be able to not just inform and educate. You have to have some little touch of entertainment in what you do, or in the whole delivery.
Yeah.
And
it's something like being a good cook. You have to have nutrition, but you have to have flavor.
Essentially, you have tasted it. Yeah, man. And at some stage, I'll say it's in its infancy, I am going to sustain it.
Yeah.
You're going to need advertising.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what you're probably going to ask. If company X buys space on my blog, in other words, I am putting out things like 3 times a week.
Boy, you like you read my mind. I was coming to ask you how often you put out the thing. Go on.
Okay, I'll say it's in its infancy, and I want to do it like about 3-4 times for the week.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm actually building up and segmenting this stuff. But if company X buys advertising space on my blog, and something comes out the next week, and that company is in hot water over some little matter, I have to now make a judgment.
Yeah.
Do I write a blog criticizing that company?
Yeah.
Absolutely no. Think about it. I am going to have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Here's this one company. Let me assume that it is only one company in that's the first company that advertises.
Yeah.
I am going to be so foolish to go out of my way to criticize that one organization.
Yeah. So you shoot yourself in your
First of all, am I the only blogger? Am I the only columnist in a newspaper? There are others. And I'll go a little bit further than that, Jerry, and tell you this. I remember some years ago, a radio talk show host called me and wanted me to make a comment on a particular politician who had just resigned. And I called her. No, when she called me, I said to her, I am not going to comment on it, on the individual, because some years ago, the individual did me a kindness.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to come on, and the only thing I could have said would have been pure negative things based on what had happened.
Yeah.
And I said, I will allow other people to comment on it.
Yeah.
In other words, if there was another space and I was the only individual commenting on things, that would have been a much different thing. But there are many other people. So one cannot shoot oneself in the foot.
Yeah.
That is just that's pragmatism.
You're not going in 100 meters up.
No,
after that.
And I'm certain that Marcia Forbes understands this new digitized space that has opened up. And in her perfect world, she would just like me not to get involved there, to somehow run a blog and run it off fumes. But this is not a perfect world.
Does the media house, the publishing house that you write for,
yes,
do they either object to you having a blog, or do they would they require you discussing it before you launch it?
No, well, I, as far as I know, I don't go up against them. I can't compete against them.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that would be their first consideration. In other words, I couldn't just get up tomorrow morning and write a column for the Gleaner.
No, what I mean is this. If you write in your blog 3 times a week on topics, if the media house might say, either you might be offending, one, we should discuss already, whether you'll be offending some of them advertisers, or by the time you write in your Sunday column, you don't discuss it on your blog to a certain extent, and this your Sunday column is just an appendage, just a joining on to that. Or any professional grudge here?
No, I wouldn't think so, because I write 2 columns a week for the Observer, and then I write the blog, and so far I don't believe that I've stepped on any toes. But I realize, when I extrapolate, look down the road, I see where it may happen that I may step on some organizations' toes. But for now, it is all about walking through the raindrops and trying actually not to get wet.
My program here now, because of my life experience, it's going to reflect at least some of my attitude and my concerns. And I want to help people not to give up on them situation. And if them situation is not good, to change it. In other words, if your situation is puncture and people can't tire, and a man pay your feet, or, that's not good. So I want to encourage you to change it, because there's other ways to make a living. So
you can actually make a living patching tires.
Yes, exactly. So so I want to encourage people, because I know that the vast numbers of our people are in discouraging situations. The vast majority of people don't own any land for themselves, don't own the room where them live in, and so on.
And are voiceless and powerless.
Yes, and they take that as normal, because it is a norm for more than half of the population.
Yes, indeed.
So
it's very sad.
The things that I address and that I pay attention to maybe 3 times a week, some big advertiser will get bored quickly with that, because I discuss the after effects of slavery time and again, and I'm not going to stop discussing them, because I know people need to understand these things more in order to encourage themselves. In other words, there's no curse on you. So that's why I discuss it, that people understand the circumstance and realize there's nothing wrong with you and your people while you are in that situation. It's some things that happen, and it take a long time sometimes for us to get out of it. So there's no curse on you.
It is in the psyche, and it remains.
One more
there.
thing before I ask if I respond. The obligation that Jamaica, the state of Jamaica, the people of Jamaica, the population of Jamaica have to the IMF keeps us in a situation where most people can understand what slavery was like. I am not saying that is the IMF cause us to be broken, and it's not the IMF come to you and say, come borrow money. But being obligated that way give people a good understanding of what being a colony is like, and give them a little picture of what being under slavery is like. And because of that now, we discuss these kind of things. Not trying to say PNP and slavery or JLP and slavery or apology, but we use all these kind of illustrations to understand ourselves and so on. So, again, some people bored with that. Not going to advertise on your program.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people, dispossessed people, listen to this program. They are not advertisers. So you find that, and yet you have some big advertisers will advertise on a program that is talking about unpleasant things. I have listeners and I have friends with white people. When them hold me and try to put me in prison in 1968, one of the reasons why the judge free me, and the judge did say so, in other words, A 6 away them hold down on me yard on Augusttown, right? So.
Yes.
2 women in there, which them say it is unusual to see a group of Rasta have no woman in there, especially in them times, not like now. 2 women was in there, Sister Minnie.
Yes, yes.
Which is Peter Phillips' first wife.
Right.
And the next little lady named Miss Rookwood.
Mm-hmm.
A full-blooded Chinaman as a Ping Chong, one of my close brethren. A full-blooded white man, David DePaz.
Mm-hmm.
A KC man who used to play Sunlight for KC in the early 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Full-blooded white man and a Jew.
Mm-hmm.
And the third man was a Latino brethren from Raytown named Eugene.
My God, you had a United Nations there, man.
Yes, and me now as a black youth, man would have said me no black, me brown. So the judge said, what kind of group this? Them must say I try overthrow government with black poor and the whole of them mix up and Chinaman and white man all kind of thing. So there's a mixture of people there, and there are some big advertisers who will advertise on a program like this.
Well, that is the other thing I wanted to discuss. You have some businessmen in this country now, some guys and in some corporate boardrooms that are not as stuck up in the traditional sense as we believe they are. They have very, very progressive ideas.
Yeah.
And they don't have these little egos that are, it come like eggshells.
Yeah.
These are individuals who will say, something, he's talking facts. I would have preferred something else, but he's talking facts.
Well, all right, we're going to go for a break. See, after this now, we're going to invite anybody who want to call and interact with Mark Whitner to call. But that don't stop anybody else who want to talk about them one thing to call. Let's go for a break. Last break before we reach to the finish line for today. Straight up, 1st October. Welcome back to Straight Up. I'm your host, Jerry Smal. Now, some text message before I let you go upon Mark Whitner. Bongo Jerry, did you hear Mr. Warmington in Parliament yesterday? I support his stance 100%. There is one thing he will get support from the Jamaican people on. Next one. Jerry, the lady right, out of many one people, I catch chikungunya. What happened? In other words, most of black people. Next one. Peter St. Elizabeth. 1 hour left on the program, and that woman complained that he didn't read her text. Sounds so disgusting. And the previous text I just referred to her. Next one. Can polls be used as a tool of influence? I'll leave that to Mark, but your phone calls are coming in. Next one. Jerry, don't be fooled. I believe Ebola is in Jamaica. I heard of a man coming from Nigeria who got sick after arriving here. He was taken to KPH and it's being said he has been locked away. We need clarity on this. Next one is Mr. Whitner saying that Mr. Shaw should have been given the chance play politics by talking the talk rather than coming to walk the walk. Next one, Jerry and Mr. Whitner. Sorry to say, but the PNP gonna fail all by themselves. Andrew don't need to say a word. The PNP get what them deserve. Next one. Hi, good morning, Mr. Jerry. My father says reincarnation is real, but I don't know if it is. Do you believe in reincarnation? No, I wouldn't say no. Life goes on. Bodies die. One thing I know, bodies die. And life goes on. And I have some experience where don't come. It'll take me a time to tell you. I'll go and tell you tomorrow. We're short at time. Mr. Whitner get some time. 2 more text messages. Mr. Smal, the health minister, said that cleanup campaign, but do we have the resources to collect the garbage? Well, as you heard, one person say yesterday, local government minister, cleanup campaign have to take more than 1 day because the truck them have to go circulate. Next one, Mr. Whitner, could you ask Clovis to put some of his best cartoons in a magazine or a book form and sell it? His pictures of Roger Clark are some of the best. Well, thank you very much. We're going to go to the first phone call. Good morning and welcome back to Straight Up. Hello?
Yeah, man. My respect to your listeners, man.
Yes, sir.
Likewise, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, after guess there, what about popularity? What if the blog there popular, and then really it have a whole of viewers, whole of readers to the blog there. So then wouldn't you dictate on the who people who want to advertise want to come to you more than you want to go to them to advertise? What about that? Use that in contrast. Remember when Omar Davis they wrote in at the the election there, the internal election there, and Mr. Perkins, who was one of his biggest critics, I remember him go over there to get himself established because Mr. Perkins' program was popular. What about popularity?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question, but I think...
No, hold on. Let him think about it and talk first. Go on.
Me?
Yeah, man.
Yes. I think what you were trying to ask is if every individual or every organization that comes to me with the advertisement, I have to take the advertisement. I have a choice. But I don't understand the second part.
What he was saying that Walmart Davis was heavily criticized by Perkins, but because Perkins' program had such a reach,
right,
Walmart Davis was willing to go on to the program of his biggest critic so that him could reach.
Right. Well, but I also believe that Omar Davis himself was just being a big man there. You know, big man in the sense that, you know, I respect Perkins even although I may not, you know, personally like what he's saying on his program. You know, plus Omar Davis, you know.
Excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Not really. That's just. What I try to say. I suppose you have 300,000 readers per year.
Right.
Me as an advertiser, to say how much people you have per year blog there. Me, it's not you that come to me. Me that want to come to you because with the reach and me could have.
All right, look here. We can't go. The time short. Hello. Listen, the time short, but you have made a very important point, and we can continue this tomorrow.
My respect.
But very important
very valid point.
And but the whole thing in business and in politics is that first you try to squash it, and then now if you can't squash it, you advertise on it.
Indeed.
Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. How are you doing?
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Whitner.
Good morning to you.
I read your article. I like your article.
I thank you.
I hear some people say sometimes the article that you write, you have lost it. You couldn't find nothing to talk about.
Okay.
So my question to you is, what do you think of the online readers who criticize you? Do you think they are political? Number two, do you read other columnist articles, and especially Mr. Higgins? I await your comments, sir.
All right, I'll answer the last part of what you asked. Mr. Garfield Higgins, I think he's one of the most exciting columnists on the landscape right now. So I do, in fact, read him, and I enjoy him. Yes, and I read other columnists' work. I actually delight in criticisms. If you should ever look at my inbox to see the sort of criticisms I get, and I try to answer almost every single one of them. So criticisms actually build me. Once you criticize what I write, you know, it suits me. And I hate when people just constantly praise what I do, because sometimes I don't even like what I write.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, sir. Sir Fox, next column. Good morning and welcome to Straight Up. Hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome.
Good morning, Mark.
How are you, my friend?
I have the joints aching me, sir.
Oh, good God Almighty, man! You've heard about the Papa Leaf? Well, not remedy, but a sort of a little thing that it actually builds the platelets in the blood and helps you to get over it. You can go online and look it up.
Yes. What I'd like to ask you is, yesterday on this station they broadcasted something about a particular government that sabotaged the coconut oil in the industry. Can you tell me who was the leader then at that time?
Who was the?
And in fact, if it's true,
who was the what then?
Who was the leader of the country when our coconut oil industry was sabotaged, when it was spread that coconut oil was very, very bad for health?
Well, I can remember. I think it was sometime in the 60s, or it could be the 70s, that there was a big push by the so-called vegetable oil industry to get all kinds of experts coming out and speaking about the evils of coconut oil and how it would cause cardiovascular problems and all sorts of other problems. And of course, you know that it eventually came about that was just totally wrong. You know, a lot of things can be cooked up. You know, if it is done in concert with various players. You know, so I think we now know that coconut oil is nowhere near as bad for you as how they made it out to be.
Well, thank you very much, here, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry we can't go further because I know you have other interesting things to pull out and Mark here. And also for that reason, we expect Mark back here whenever it is convenient to him.
I'm enjoying it so far, Jerry.
Yeah, man. And I know you're from your young, and I was young also.
For a long time.
Yes, and we know that we were gifted.
I hope so.
Yes. Whether you are your plexion high or your plexion low, we know, say, I go and play a piece of music. I go around the bush. My grandson named Akil Young. But hold on there. I want to thank you, Mark, and I want to thank my producer. I want to thank my producer, Tanya Richards, and our production assistant, Shade Walton, and our broadcast technician, Rodian Rowe. I right pronunciation? Yeah, man, Rodian Rowe. Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. I'm going to play this with Akil Young, my grandson.
I hope they're back soon.
Yes, sir. And he's the son of Amber, my daughter. She grew up at Pembroke, called partly, because, you know, say your family and...
Yes. All the best to your family.
Your family and my wife's family was next door.
Yes, man.
So Young Gifted and Black by Bob Andy and Marcia Griffiths. For Akil Young.
Young, gifted and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. To be young, gifted and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted and black. And that's the fact. Young, gifted and black. How I long to know the truth. There are times when I look back and I am haunted by my youth. Oh, my joy.
Good afternoon. With the midday news, I'm Errol Lee. Coming up in this newscast, risk level increases following the first confirmed case of Ebola in the United States. Local government minister recommends cleanup initiative be done in stages, as NSWMA says it has a shortage of resources for a full cleanup. Prime Minister reiterates government stance on equal opportunities for women, and National Water Commission implements water restrictions in the parish of St. Mary. Now the news in detail.